All right, welcome to the UCW Radio Show. As you guys know, we bring on some motivational, inspirational people, some awesome people that have great stories attached to them, stories that you normally wouldn't hear. And today's no different. We have Linda Stevens and Christian Palmer. They're all about fitness, but there's a lot more going on beyond that. And we're going to bring them on. Linda, Christian, how are you guys doing?
Great, thanks. How are you?
Doing
Very
good.
good.
Doing good. So, where do we start here? We have to start at the beginning. Of you got involved in fitness. How did you get involved in it? I know it's a very common question. It's a canned question, but we're going to start somewhere.
Exactly. I guess I'll
You
start
go first.
Okay. I got involved in fitness, having always been active as a child. I ice skated, I played basketball, and then after I had children, I decided, working in the city and working on Wall Street just was not an option for me anymore. So I decided to.
That's why we started talking, because you were a Wall Streeter. That's why. Now I remember. Okay. All right.
So a friend of mine was like, said, you'd like to take care of yourself. Why don't you get a personal training certification and train people part-time when you want to?
Mhm.
And I ended up doing that pretty simply. And I started working for her. She had a corporate gym here in Connecticut, started working with her. And then it just sort of grew into, I went back to school and got my nutrition degree. And that's really how it happened, pretty simply. Got my nutrition degree in 2013. And decided to just start building a business. And then it really wasn't for the last 2.5 years or so, I hired a business coach, and then I really started building and growing my brand and my business. So pretty simple.
But before we go to Christian, before we go into your story, Christian, Linda, when you went through all the training, the education, when you were trying to build a business, I remember, when you were trying to do that, and we had a couple of discussions about that, and you were trying to put it all together. You weren't sure how you were going to do it.
Right.
You were getting discouraged too, because you were trying to map it out, and it wasn't that easy. What brought you to the point that you got involved with a business coach to try to get you over that hurdle?
Well, I really needed to get structured and build an organization. And it really came about because in 2017, I got divorced. But a few months prior to that, I knew that, I needed to be able to sustain myself financially and 2 children. So that's what the catalyst was. And I hired my business coach, and he said to me, okay, let's look at everything that you're doing. Let's clean you out. Let's get organized. Let's pick like one direction that you're going to go in, and let's do that. And he was, a huge, huge part of the process of me growing Linda Stevens Fitness. So, I owe a lot to him. I still use him. It's been a little over 2 years now, I think, that I've had him. Mm-hmm. And, but yeah, he really definitely changed my life and the way I looked at business, and versus trying to do 100 different things, picking 2 or 3 things to focus on and do them well. So I think prior to that, I was all over the map, and I just was not finishing anything. I wasn't seeing anything through to the end. So.
And was it a little bit scary, you going down that road, having to start your business when you began it?
Yes, because prior I was worked for somebody else, UBS, it was Smith Barney, whatever it was. So I'm used to getting a paycheck and my benefits and all those things. Now I'm responsible for that. I'm responsible for me. So it was kind of like jumping off a cliff. But
you and 2 others, you have kids, so that's a responsibility within itself. So now you're doing it on your own. Now you're not, it's not, you can't go lean on, you can, now you can lean on somebody, but at that point you couldn't. And it was all about Linda making it happen.
Exactly. And it still is. So.
Yeah, of course. It doesn't end. Being an entrepreneur doesn't end. This is only the beginning, There's only the beginning of everything. Now I'm going to transition, Christian. Let's hear your story, because I know that a lot of people don't know it. I've seen, Linda, when she out of nowhere, she's posting pictures of you and everything. I said, what is going on here? She's like, oh my God, my love. I said, oh man, we got to bring you guys on this show, because now I see a power couple in front of me, and I love it. Okay. Tell me your story, Christian. Let's start at the beginning.
All right. So in the beginning, started off as a very athletic kid. I did martial arts, got my black belt. I did track and field in school. I played football. After that, in high school, I got interested in exercising as a result of being on the internet, saw a picture of an IFBB pro bodybuilder, and I was like, I want to look just like that. So I started reading about nutrition, exercise, and fitness, and I got hooked. Now, my passion for nutrition started when my mom was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. So once that happened, it made everything more, it gave me a passion to help her, because I wanted to know, okay, how can I help her besides just taking insulin? What can I tell her, teach her? How can I guide her to improve her health? So over the years of me, just teaching her what I learned literally by just reading nutrition books, being on the whatever I found on the internet, and then also going to college and getting my exercise science degree with nutrition classes, and then I became a nutritionist. I was able to help her, and now she doesn't need insulin anymore. So once I helped her, I realized, well, if I can help her, then I can help so many other people around the world. And, down the road, I still had my deep passion for nutrition, but I also had an interest in culinary. So I was trying to choose. I'm like, okay, I'm either going to go to the CIA, Culinary Institute of America, or continue to pursue nutrition. And nutrition is what got my heart. So I got my first job as a personal trainer at Equinox. And that was in 2013. And then from there, in 2019, I started my business, Relentless Fitness and Nutrition. And Linda and I use the same coach, Matt Park, because I realized, I'm like, okay, I have skills. I've got connections. I mean, I'm in Westchester. I'm in an amazing place to build a business and build great connections, but I don't know all the steps, and I want to learn the things that I shouldn't be doing and that I should be doing to make an effective business and help people. So,
see, Linda, you learned some things. You're going to teach Christian a lot from your experiences, which is great. Now, when you were involved in martial arts, man. What happened there? Why didn't you go that route?
So
you could be like Bolo or something. Come on.
Yeah, Bolo. So, I love that route. And at one point I started to think, I'm like, maybe I want to go into the UFC because I did some mixed martial arts. But something about it was always very interesting. Fighting is something that I truly enjoy, but I realized that with the skills that I have with nutrition, I can save a lot of people's lives, teach them how to be healthier for them and their families. Fighting is a great way to do something that I would enjoy doing, but it didn't give me the same feeling of fulfillment. Like when I have a nutrition client say, Christian, I can now play with my kids because I lost this weight. I don't have to use insulin anymore because my diabetes is solved. Or the doctor told me I was going to have a heart attack, and now he says I'm in great health. That just gave me a deeper feeling of fulfillment. Martial arts is fun, but it didn't do the same for me.
And you found your calling, and I'm glad. See, I've heard so many stories from guests I've had on that went and they had people in their lives that had diabetes and they were on insulin, and that drove them to try to help them. Like I had Logan Aldridge on the show, and he's the most fit one-armed man on the planet, and his passion, as yours, came from trying to help people and helping someone he saw people were diabetic and he wanted to help them to get healthier, and that was his passion. And today, he's global, so I'm glad your mom's doing better, which is a good thing, because you got to take care of yourself, but it helps you to build your career. So now I guess the $1 million question here before we get into the business stuff is, how did you guys link up? Because out of nowhere, Linda was like, "Oh, Christian." I was like, "Oh man, what's going on?"
You want to tell me?
What? I'll let you start.
She picked you up, didn't she? She picked you up, Christian. I know it. She literally just picked you up, and that was it.
Yeah. So we had known each other for years through mutual friends. Okay. One, a nutrition coach that we both worked with, Chris Tuttle. And we'd seen each other backstage at bodybuilding shows. We knew each other through social media.
By the way, you see this? That's my highlight. Oh, it's like you guys are like double here.
Hey.
We were gonna have it scrolling here, but I couldn't do it on the system, so I apologize for that.
No worries. So we knew each other in that regard. We had seen. So I was doing a show in July of 2018 or 17.
17.
17.
Team
Universe. And this was in New Jersey. So go to the show. No idea she's there. My nutrition coach, Chris, is like, hey, you know, there's I've got some teammates there. If you need any help with anything, blah, blah, blah. Go to schedule my tan for the show. And I walk in the tan room and then I see her. And I was like, oh, hey, you know, and we'd never actually sat down and had a long conversation. We had spoken briefly backstage, but nothing in detail. So the funny part is, and I would say that probably 0.001% of couples meet this way.
What?
I'm being spray tanned, which means I'm naked. The only thing I have is something to cover myself, if you know what I mean. And, you know, it's just casual. I'm just like, you know, do your thing. Like, hey, how you doing? How's life, kids? You know?
Hey, I mean, I guess she got the spark there. I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess you got the James Bond vibe. Boy.
But the funny thing is that, you know, us both being in the competitive bodybuilding world, being spray tanned a gazillion times and how many shows we've done over the years, it's like it doesn't even faze you. You know, you stand there in your birthday suit and you're getting spray tanned by some random person. But it doesn't even register. It's just someone, you know, and I was actually there because I was supporting a friend of mine who was competing.
Right.
And I told Tuttle, our coach, if anybody's on the team is coming through, and he's like, you know, Christian and another teammate was coming through, and I was actually walking out to take a break, and he was walking in. I'm like, oh, hey, come on, I'll take care of you before I, you know, take a break. So, and then we just chatted, and I sprayed him, and off he went. So
yeah, and well, I'll give the rest of the story. So
I know there's more to that. It's like, hey, now what's going on?
Yeah, so you know, and it's funny after the spray tan, you know, again, naked, just doing my thing, covered up, of course, the one thing, but you know, it was just a good general conversation. And at the end of it, I started to walk away, and then I took a step back, and I'm like, listen, we should hang out sometime. And she's like, all right, fine. So give me your number. I don't know, probably a week or two or something.
Well, we saw because we saw each other again a week or so later at another show. I was backstage with a client, and you were with
I had a client, yeah.
And I'm like, oh, hey, and we chit-chatted for another minute, and then we just went our separate ways. So it was very nonchalant, though. Like it was very, because I think after a week after that second time I saw you, you sent me a text like a few days later, and I was like, oh, I was a little like surprised, or pleasantly surprised.
Yeah. And it was. And what's funny is that it was very nonchalant. It wasn't one of those things where it's like, oh wow, you know, how do I? It was just.
Is he gonna call?
It was just like, hey, you know, hey, let's hang out. Conversation was great. Let's you know, and. So the first time I reached out, she was busy. This was a series of 4 attempts
to hang out with. Busy.
Yeah.
Okay, busy.
And yeah, look, you know how it goes with us guys. If a girl says she's busy, it probably means she's not interested.
Right.
But her responses were longer than the busy, okay, bye kind of thing. It was very explained and lengthy, and she responded very quickly. So I said to myself, all right, it seems genuine. So I waited a week, reached out again. Hey, would love to get together. Rock climbing seems like something fun. Are you interested? Oh, I would love to, but I'm judging a show or whatever it might be.
Oh, that's number 2. That's number 2. You hung in there, brother. You hung in there.
Yeah. Wow. And then there was a third week. You know, let another week go by. You know, let life happen. Hey, blah blah blah. Again, would you like to hang out? Oh my gosh, she's like, it's the worst time. I'd really love to. And in my head, I'm thinking,
that was 3.
You know what?
That's
you know,
3.
I'm like, I should probably just call it a day. Whether she just doesn't want to say she's not interested, I'm like, it is what it is. And something told me, I'm like, just shoot one more text. What do you got to lose?
Yeah, but the third response when I told him, I think I was in New Jersey judging a show. I judged 2 shows in that, because I also judge shows. So the second time, you know, he was like, okay, I'll try again. I'm like, yeah, definitely. And then the third time I just got okay. And I'm like, oh, he's not going to ask again.
So another week goes by, shoot the final message. I'm like, just throw it at the wall, see if it sticks. And she's like, I think I can. Just give me like until tomorrow, and I got to talk to my mom and let me know. Yes, her parents were visiting, or her mom was visiting, and she basically needed just to clear some time out so she could go hang out. And your mom said,
my mom, I said to my mom, like, I remember saying to my mom, this guy's asked me out 3 times. This is the 4th time. Like, I really want to go. I don't want to say no. And she's like, no, go and have fun. So that's when we went. And but your text was funny because he sent me a text and said, do you have any time between Thursday and Sunday?
Oh yeah. I'm like, let me just make it broad. And see
Between the hours of 12 and 12.
And I was like, let's see if you're really serious, because you got 4 days here. You don't have time in 4 days.
Yeah. So,
oh my God, that's funny.
The funny thing is, after we had our first date, we had a great time. And the funny little story there at the end, he always cracks up when I tell him this, is when we were done, we had a great time, and it was time to leave. We went rock climbing, and so I said, okay, he's like, okay, that was fun. I'll see you later. And he left. So it was funny when I'm like, all right. So I get in my car. My girlfriend, of course, you know how girls are. She calls me. She's like, how did it go? You're gonna see him again? And I'm like, I don't know. He just left. So I don't know. Maybe I talked too much. I'm not sure.
You had that friend in the pocket just in case you needed an out. I know how that works.
Yeah.
That special call. Oh, my kid's sick. I gotta leave. I get it.
Yeah.
You're like, what? But then I heard from him like a few days later, and then we just started spending casual time together on the weekends doing stuff, and it was really fun. So
and it built up to where you are right now. See, so if you connect and you guys connect mentally and you have something special there, it's worth pursuing. But the thing is, Christian, if you would have been like the guy that said, hey, after the second, third time, I would have been gone. But you hung in there. You better hold on to him, because I don't know of any other guys that go that fourth time.
Yeah, I was pretty much there. That fourth one was just one day random. I'm like, you know what? Let me just try. I didn't even intend to hear back. I'm like, let me just put it out there, and I wouldn't even follow up if I didn't hear anything. But
no, because I wanted to. It just.
But isn't it interesting how things happen in life? You're going through things. Linda, you were going through stuff, rough times in your life. You were trying to figure out your path. And Christian, you were doing your thing and trying to build up your life. And you were changing lanes as far as what you wanted to do. And then all of a sudden, you guys kind of figured it out a little bit, and boop, you collided. And look at you now. You got your company. You got a pumpkin in the background. I don't know what else is going on here. Okay,
that's right.
But tell us about. I want to hear about Relentless, because this is the first I'm hearing about that.
Okay, so Relentless Fitness and Nutrition. I specialize in helping men over 40 regain vigor, ignite their confidence, and achieve their fitness goals through conquering nutrition. So I help men with hormone optimization. A lot of times, once guys get to middle age, they put their own health and fitness on the back burner because they have businesses, they become entrepreneurs, they start families, and everything else has to take a back seat because you've got to be the provider, the protector, and you've got your business to care for. So you get the belly, you get the back pain, the knee pain, and a lot of men just throw themselves in the box of, you know what, I'm just getting old. I guess this is just how it is. And I show them and coach them through the fact that you can change, you can create the body you want, you can reignite your confidence, you can improve your relationship with your spouse. Because many men, when they get over 40, it's like sex just isn't a thing anymore. And intimacy is just, it's something that is, what is it, birthdays and anniversaries? And it's like,
that's no good.
It's like, you can be the family superhero, you can be her mountain. You just have to take care of yourself, get yourself right. And a lot of that simple is nutrition, sleep, manage your stress, and communicate. And that's another thing that I teach.
Well, communication. See, you're teaching more than the fitness part of it. And that's why I'm glad you said that, because when you're talking about training someone, and I don't know if you guys are familiar with Steve Hess. He used to be the strength coach for the Denver Nuggets. Good friend of mine. I had him on the show. We were talking about trainers. He's in Denver doing his thing, and he has a whole, it's like 60,000 square feet foot of arena. They do all this stuff, and they have coaches that are not only fitness, but not only physical, but mental, nutrition, all this stuff. And this is what you're doing. And that's so important, because you have trainers out there. And I call it like I see it. You have trainers out there that learn online. They go on the computer, learn a couple of things. They may be in shape, but they learn a couple of things. They go get clients. They're training them. They don't know what they're doing. And then after a while, I've noticed this, all of a sudden they're on their phone texting, and meanwhile they're training the person. Oh, do 15 reps. But that's what they're doing. And you see these people day in and day out, they're training and they don't progress. And their trainer can care less. They're not doing what they're paid to do. So with you're more that coaching mentality. is where you're at. You know, it's not so much you're not a trainer, you're a coach.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Because there's so many facets of it.
Yeah, like you're a coach too, Linda. This is what you do, and you have your whole thing going on. And I think that's so important because you can go and be in the best shape of your life. Doesn't mean that you're the best shape in your life in here or here. Okay.
Exactly.
And all of this comes in. You mentioned relationships. All this comes into play because you got, you got guys over 40, whatever, and you're helping them to get in tune to themselves. But that's a trickle down effect, right? It
Right.
goes from them, and I mean, where does it trickle down? I know where it trickled down, but I want to hear it from you. Where does that trickle down once you tackle them?
I mean, I'll say that the majority of what we do is really mental. So much of it is even before we can give someone a great workout. Like, let's say one of our nutrition clients also wants to be trained, right? You can give them a great workout, but how do they feel about themselves? Because I spend more time with my clients coaching them on mindset. I might have a guy who is an executive or works on Wall Street or whatever it might be, and he's like, Christian, I'm ready to punch myself in the face. This week is so stressful. My kid has got soccer. Now we've got the pandemic going on. I've got business deals I have to take care of. I'm not getting any sleep. My energy is terrible. I'm hyped up on coffee. And, it's how you deconstruct that. Whereas, a regular nutrition coach might be like, just follow the nutrition plan and it should all work out.
Or just eat
Versus, like, Jake, let's have a conversation. Talk to me about how things are going.
Right.
The one thing also why I specialize in men and why I love helping men is that we're supposed to be the strong ones, right? We're taught suffer in silence. You'll be fine. Suck it up and just get through it. Don't cry, right? So the man's taking in all the stress, doesn't know where to eject it. So it comes out in either outbursts on the family, or maybe it's a disconnection from the family, right? The intimacy, the communication with the wife is not there, or the kids. And they look at themselves in the mirror. Sure, I've built this great company. I've got all this money, but now I'm wearing all the traveling and eating on my body. So giving men an opportunity to speak to someone and let that out. What is really going on inside? How do you really feel? Because you should be able to let it out. And then once their mind gets right, everything else follows. And it helps the family because then they communicate.
That's the trickle down. That's the trickle down.
And then on the flip side of that, with me working with women over 40, most of the women I work with are over 50, but over 40. But there's such a big difference between 40 and 50. Those 10 years, there's a lot going on. But women are taking on the family role. They're taking care of the kids, and they're taking care of the house and the grocery shopping and driving around and carpools. So where the men go through what Christian just described, we women go through just constantly giving of ourselves, and we forget about ourselves. So now maybe they put on weight because they're eating the kids' leftovers in between dropping off and picking up. Or they're drinking a lot of wine at night because they just can't calm down or relax. So now they're having 2-3 glasses of wine every night, and their hormones are changing. So now they're feeling really off balance emotionally and just putting on weight and not understanding what's happening in their bodies. And then their relationships are falling apart because the men are feeling one way, we're feeling another way. And then you've got this divide coming, right? And it's really hard for some couples to come back together. But that's where the communication piece comes in. So, I talk to a lot of my women, not just about how to help them.
And you have some prominent women that you train.
Yes.
See, I remember that. See?
So it's definitely there's definitely a lot of hand holding. And sometimes, I'll say to him, I talked to like 5 clients today, and we talked more about what was going on in their life versus what they were putting in their mouth. But when you can get them to really feel more secure within themselves, and then they start eating a certain way and sleeping better, and then they start to see their body composition change, and then it's sort of this cascade effect of they start to feel a lot better about themselves, and all of a sudden relationship starts to get better, and they feel more whole within themselves, which is what I try to teach women. Like, you've got to take care of yourself first, because if you don't, kids, husband, life, whatever it is, all that's just going to fall apart. So
do you find that a lot of women, in taking care of the family and everything, they neglect themselves and they leave themselves for last?
Yes, absolutely. Because what happens a lot with some of the women is once their kids go off to college or they're out of college, and then they're like, okay, look at me, what's happened to me? I do not like how I look. I don't want to have these 30 pounds on me, or I want to get this weight off. I want to look better. I want to build some muscle. I want, they want a different outlook on life now, because now they're not there's nobody else to take care of. Now they got to take care of themselves.
And in that position that they're in, and they're again putting themselves on the back burner. Okay, what do you think that it becomes that trigger for them to want to reach out to you, want to have something else? Because I'm assuming there has to be a trigger where maybe it comes to a point that maybe the kids, they grow up and they leave and stuff like that, and maybe depression sets in. A lot of things can happen mentally when you allow yourself to go down that road.
Absolutely. And a lot of the women that I work with, it's interesting, they'll send me photos of what they looked like in their 30s or even early 40s in a bikini. And they're like, do you think I could ever could I ever wear this bikini again? And I'm like, absolutely. We have some things to work on, but there's no reason why you can't sport a bikini again and look damn good at it 50, 55, 60, whatever it is. I think right now the oldest, I have several women in their early 60s, and that are trying to build muscle and change their body composition. And so it's really fun. I really, really love what I do.
Well, you're helping these women to be the best version of themselves when they need it the most. Because look, at the end of the day, I've seen people, look, I've been training a long time, and I've seen a lot of stuff. That's why, my buddy Mike, him and I have the same mindset that, age is a number, and it's how you take care of yourself. I mean, Mike O'Hearn, so he's, he's in his 50s and he looks better than guys in their 20s, and he's been doing it a long time,
Absolutely.
and but it's a mindset. It depends on what you want. And when you're 60, you think that, hey, you know what? I'm too old for this. And I've heard this so many times. I'm too old for this. My knees hurt. My back hurts. And you know what? I got to go do this. I'm working too hard. And I'm tired. I can't get up that early. All the excuses start coming out. But really, what is the real excuse?
I think the real excuse is that, they're either scared or
that's it.
They're afraid of failure. Like, what if I try this and I don't get any better? Or, someone's going to laugh at me if they see me out trying to run. I can't run, but I can walk. Okay, good. Let's do that. Or maybe they're embarrassed and they feel it's just insecurity too.
Yeah, and I can see that too, because people go to a gym, and this has been since the beginning. I mean, since I'm a kid, you go to the gym, someone maybe is heavier than everyone else. They feel embarrassed because especially you got mean people out there. They point and they look. Even now today, I remember I was at a gym and I saw this, and I was training at like 3:30 in the morning. I'm the only person there, okay? And there was a girl that was there. She's heavy. She was there sweating, working, and she didn't know what she was doing. I said, you know what? I'm going to come here every day. I'm going to give you 10 minutes of my time. I'm going to tell you what to do. I'm going to help you, and you're going to do that. This girl, the heart of a lion, kept doing it, was trimming down and everything, and she was feeling so good about herself. And all you need to do, I mean, when people are at a gym or you train, to reach out and just give someone that confidence that, hey, you can do this. And that's all they need. And they keep coming. But, it's a mindset, Christian, as you were saying, it's the mindset. If your mind is not correct, how do you get past all this?
Exactly. And something that I spend a lot of time with any of my clients, all of my clients with, is understanding their reason why. So for many people, it's all good and well to say, I want to lose 5 pounds. But when things get tough, i.e. work, kids, life stresses.
Yeah, like that work, that ding dong, that work that's going on right now.
I know. Sorry, I should have.
No, but this is life. This is life. This is what I'm talking about. You have people that are reaching out and they need your help. So again, continue, Christian. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Just a ding dong.
Yeah. So and they get lost in, well, this is uncomfortable, and you have to bring them to a place where, well, why did you come to me in the first place? Well, I don't feel confident. Okay, that's a good why. Or they might have said, my doctor said if I don't change, I'm not going to see my daughter walk down the aisle because I will have a heart attack. Okay, well, that's a pretty strong why.
Yeah.
A person in that position is probably going to get on the right track, follow the plan, and stay committed. Whereas the person's like, well, I just sort of want to look good in these jeans. That's kind of shallow. So when things get tough, which they always do at some point, they're going to, fall off, or they're going to flake, because they don't have a deep-rooted emotional attachment to why do I want to walk this journey? Because no one's forcing us. That's the hardest part. It's not like when you have a
right.
Yeah, like when you have a boss and they say, if you're not in work tomorrow on time, or you don't get this RFP report to me, you're fired.
Right.
This is, you want to change your life. No one's making you do it.
Right.
So what are you going to do that's going to continue to push you day to day?
It's like when no one's looking, you're going to eat those little Halloween candies that are sitting in the drawer or not? It's like, well, who's going to know but me?
Yeah,
Exactly.
but that's the whole thing, is that the person knows,
Yep.
and if you hold yourself accountable, you're not going to do such a thing because you care that much about yourself.
Right.
Same way when somebody gets up in the morning, and they're training at 4:30 in the morning. They don't have to,
Right.
but you got to have something in you to get up that early. When I see old elderly women. Okay, I mean, 60 is, I guess, is the new middle age. I don't know. We're going to live to be 190, right? So, but when I see women that are 60, 70, and 75 and 80, they're going to the gym. They're there early in the morning. It's like that motivates me. I'm like, I got no excuses.
Exactly.
And they're even though they're chitter chattering, but they're working out, doing their thing,
Right.
and they're there. They showed up to the party.
Okay. And Christian and I we talk a lot about goals. Like we set goals individually, we set goals together. We give our clients goals, but whatever age you are, and I think especially if you're over 60, over 70, goals are going to get, or what's keeping them to get up every day. Getting them up every day to go to the gym or go outside and take that walk or do something that's beneficial to you. And when you have goals and you have things that you need to accomplish every day, that gives you that drive and that ambition to want to make those changes in your life. Because even at 60, 70, I mean, you can change your body. It's just it's a mindset, and you have to want to do it versus saying, oh, I'm too old, it's too late for me now, why should I bother?
Because that's the easy way out.
Right.
The key
it's the cop out. It's the cop out.
Yeah. And the key for so many, and this is the way everything works in life, whether someone wants to start a business, whether someone wants to build a piece of furniture, it's always a plan. If you want to build a skyscraper, everything works on a plan. And some will say, well, maybe I don't feel comfortable going to the gym, or right now during the pandemic, I don't have a gym to go to. That's fine. What can you do in your house? Can you do bodyweight squats? Can you do push-ups?
Get some bands,
Exactly. It's like no one's stopping you from walking around the neighborhood. Yeah, but that's not really doing much. Is it doing more than you were yesterday? Yes. Well, that's a start. And then it's baby steps. I've had clients where I have actually told someone, I want you to walk outside slowly for 5 minutes. This is a totally sedentary person who's very new to working out, and I don't, like Christian, I don't know where to start. What do I do? I want you to put your sneakers on. I want you to walk outside for 5 minutes today. They come back in. You did a great job. Now tomorrow, let's walk for 6 minutes, literally one more minute. And they end up doing 10 or 15. Oh, that was so easy. Like, yes. And after they do it, then they say, you know what? And I felt good about it because I felt like I was accomplished. And I'm sort of chasing that feeling again. I'm like, see, this is what you want to get to, is where you get that desire to do more because I've accomplished, get those endorphins released. And you know that somewhere down the road, your positive, effective action is going to lead to change. It might be 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Oh, wow, my clothes are fitting a little better. Right. See, remember that 5-minute walk? Well, look where you are now.
It all starts somewhere. And I'll share this personal thing. Look, my mom, she's tipping 80. Trains every day. During the pandemic, she couldn't train. You know what? I got her bands, got a TRX. She's there doing her thing every day. And the one day she didn't work out, she said, you know what? I feel like crap. I said, I gotta go. I can't even talk to you. She hangs up the phone. She had to go train, and she does it in a house. But she's been doing it. She's been doing that for 60 something years. But it's not a thing that you say, hey, I'm gonna do this now and get my summer muscles, and then I'm gonna tap out, and then the whole winter I'm gonna get chubby, and then come spring I'll start training again. It has to be a lifestyle. It has to be, because you have pivotal changes that occur when you make the decision. Say, hey, I want to feel better about me. Okay, and you guys are dealing with this all the time from people, and you have to. I mean, I'm sure that it's a challenge in the beginning with someone that really doesn't know.
Absolutely. We all, you sort of you sort of run the gamut of clients. Like you'll get some people that are very motivated and just hit the ground running and just achieve the entire way. You get people that start out great, maybe they slow down a little bit. Like this, everybody's got a different flow. And you have people that want to start, but they're already kind of defeated even before they start. So those are the people you have to do a little bit more hand holding with and coach. But then,
It takes a lot of patience from your end.
It really does. It really does. And, and understanding but I think but I know that's why we're so good at what we do, because we really care about our clients. We're vested in our clients. Like I always say, and I know I'm sure Christian would agree, like their results, if I don't get them to get the results that they want, I feel like I'm not doing my job. It's my reputation. This is what you're paying me for, and I want to deliver you to where you want to be. So whatever it takes to get there, I'm willing to basically do to get my clients to be where they need to be.
You go that extra mile.
Exactly, and it's that. See, and that's a great statement that Linda made. Is that Thanks. We have to.
Look at that, he gave you a compliment. You better give him a hug. What? Yeah.
So much about. There's so many coaches out there now who just want money, right? They want money and fame, and especially with social media, it's easy to get that. If someone has abs or a girl has a big butt, you can put your picture out there. Hey, I'm taking clients, and we've had plenty of clients that have come to us and said, yeah, I worked with a coach before and it wasn't really that good. And I'll ask them, like, well, one, because I want to learn what they need to serve them best. And they'll say, yeah, well, they didn't really check in with me. They give me the plan. And then a week or two later, I'd hear from them. And I'm like, okay, that's definitely not acceptable by my morals, but that's me, coach. And, what do you need in order to get you going? So someone might say, hey, one check-in a week, that's all I need. I'm very low maintenance. Some people say, hey, all I need is how are you doing today? Maybe every other day. And you learn that and you develop these relationships and you get to know their families. Hey, how are the kids doing? What did you guys do this weekend? We went on a family hike. That's awesome. So now you're taking what you learned about fitness and you're teaching that to your family, and now they see it's fun. Then your friends can join in. And I think it becomes so much more than just carbs, fats, protein.
Right.
It's someone's reason for being their own best self, so they can be the best self for their family, their friends, so they can inspire others around them, even though they don't realize they're doing it. And I think when you really understand what being a coach is, it really is being a friend, as cliche as that sounds. It's being a friend. There just happens to be a business transaction somewhere along the line.
And that's something. Before you go, Linda, I'm going to say this, that it's interesting you say that, because I've come across trainers, like when you're working out, and like with me, I meet people from all over the world. I've trained in every major gym and trained with top athletes and everything, NFL players, all this stuff. But when I see trainers, like I remember this conversation, I never forget it. I was talking to someone, he was training someone, and him and I became friendly. And he was training the guy for like months and months. And he says, yeah, he says, I got to keep this guy going. I says, okay, well, you're getting him in shape. He said, no, he's a cash cow.
Wow.
I said, you did not just tell me that.
Right.
That right there made me feel so bad for the guy that I didn't even know what to do. I just actually had to walk away, and I couldn't be around that, because how are you treating someone like a dollar sign when you're supposed to be helping to change their lives?
Right.
Yeah, cash cow.
That's
Oh yeah. I've heard it all, but that was the one thing that like really stuck with me, because why would you even think about someone in that respect if you're supposed to be helping them? But a lot of people do this. They may not say it, but they do it, and they see it like that because they're looking at their finances, and how they can go make a buck from you and sell you the vitamins and sell you this, sell you that, and that's what it all comes down to. And I've seen it so many times, and it's like, why would you go do that to someone? If you're being sponsored by a brand and you need to go do something, you're getting paid on it, you know what? at least be honest with someone. Say, I'm being sponsored by them and they have great products. Let me give you a 20% discount on this. Whatever it is, if they're paying you to help them, then you need to help them a little more, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
No, I agree. That's, I'm sure Christian might feel the same way, but I mean, if I could help, if I could do this and I didn't need to get paid for it, that'd be fantastic. But
well, you got to keep the lights on. You got to keep the pumpkin going. You got to keep things going. No one says that you get paid for what you do, and that's good. You're an entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm saying is that you guys do a lot more than that, and you actually care about the people that you coach. You care about them. You care whether they're successful, whether they fail, whether if they're not successful in what you're doing, you're not going to sit there and say, you know what, off the list, goodbye. No, you're going to figure out what the problem is and how can you help them. Exactly. You're going to go that extra mile. Say, how can I help this person? I can see you guys driving to their house. Say, look, we got to talk. What is going on? What can we do?
Definitely done that before.
Yeah.
It's sometimes you have clients that sort of go radio silence, and I've had that where, when you get to a certain point and you have a lot of clients, sometimes if people don't check in with you, they can sort of get lost in the ether, right? But if you care about people and you think to yourself, well, I haven't heard from this person, they haven't checked in like they should be, let me give them a call. You call them, they may not call back right away, you call them again and you get them. Let's talk. What's going on? Oh, I don't want to be a bother. No. You're not a bother. This is your time right now. Talk to me. I had a conversation. This was probably it had to be 3 or 4 weeks ago, probably about 4 weeks ago, with one of my clients. And she said to me, she's like, Christian, we have to talk. And whenever someone says something like that, it's serious.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm like, okay, let's talk at such and such.
You don't want to hear that from Linda because I'd be like, oh my God, now we're going to sit down and have that talk. I don't know.
Oh, it's so funny. Every time I'm like, I want to talk about this. He's like, what? And I'm like, no.
Oh, that's when you start. You're like, oh my God, let me go get some Bear aspirin before we even have the conversation. I get it.
So, we start talking, and I was working with this woman for probably about a year, a little over a year, maybe a year and 2 months. Mm-hmm. And she was trying, or so she told me, and she wasn't really making improvements. Now, I did everything that I've ever learned as a nutrition coach. I'm like, okay, we're going to try this. Okay, that didn't work. Okay, fine. Let's try this. Okay, let's try this. I had her going in for colonoscopies, for stool tests, for vitamin B shots because it was low, for like everything, endoscopy, all this stuff. I'm like, there's got to be something wrong. She has this conversation with me a year and 2 months later. She's like, Christian, I got to be honest with you. I'm like, okay. She's like, I haven't been trying my hardest. I haven't been following the plan 100%, even though I told you. I'm like, okay. And in my head, things are starting to make sense, but I'm still allowing her to speak. Like, this is your time.
It made you question yourself just a little bit. Like, were you doing something wrong? Yeah.
Oh,
exactly.
Totally.
And I'm like, am I just not good at, you get these thoughts. Am I not good at what I do? So she's like, I've always been a self-defeatist. I'm like, okay. She's like, when I get close to achieving something or just heading in the right direction, I wonder, well, if I put my 100% all in it, what if I fail? And I said, well, that's really interesting to hear because, one, you're never going to know if you will achieve what you want by putting 100% in, but it doesn't help you or me to not be honest and forthright. I'm like, I had no idea that you weren't trying, even though on your check-ins you're saying, I'm following 100%. And I'm like, well, there's no way we're doing all this thing. So after all that, the conversation was, I'm like, listen, what I want you to do is we're going to take it day by day. Tomorrow, I want you to do your best to just do well tomorrow. I don't want you to think about any other day. I'm like, you get your cardio in, follow the meal plan, and all I want you to do is send me a thumbs up emoji at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. If your day went well, give me a thumbs up. So got the, right? Thumbs up, next day, thumbs up. 5 days go by, she drops 5 pounds. And I'm like, see, this is what makes sense. But what it took was that hour-long conversation. It took her a year to get to the point where she felt comfortable because she's like, look, I felt so embarrassed and that I wasn't being honest with you. I couldn't find it in myself to tell you. And these are things that we come across because we talk to our clients and tell them, listen, communication is number one. Mm-hmm. I want you to make sure that you ask me any question you have. Tell me what's on your mind. If there's something you're not understanding, let me know so we can be on the same page.
Right.
And sometimes the journey takes a while before they're comfortable with just being. And that's what happened here. And it came to a head. And now she's just making crazy improvements. And, these are some of the things that we deal with. We had mentioned that a lot of what we do is helping our clients mentally. Because following the plan is simple, but it's what we do in here that keeps us from it.
Sure.
And they have to almost reach, I guess, hit whatever their bottom is. It's like anybody else that wants to get help with any addiction, a food addiction, alcohol addiction, drug addiction, whatever it is. The person has to hit that point, and she hit that point that it was like, okay, I gotta fess up so that I can get better because I'm not feeling optimal. So
and I'm going to expand on that thought, because you could have easily said, you know what, it's been a year and a half and nothing happened, and you push me to the side. I don't have time for you because I'm busy with other clients. You could have done it. It happens all the time. And for those that are viewing and listening to the show right now, you have to be careful who you get to help you. Okay. Having someone that's more of a coach and not someone that's just helping you in the gym, you need to go the coach route if you can. Okay. And, Christian and Linda, these guys right here, they're doing some great things and they're helping people. And that's what it is. You're helping people to be the best version of themselves as they can.
Absolutely.
And everyone is different. So you have to be nimble. Like Bruce Lee said, you have to be like water, right? So you have to actually be nimble in order to accommodate all the different people you train. So and if any of your clients are listening to this, I'm going to say that they're lucky to have you guys as their coaches because of what you bring to the table. And again, I've been around, so I know what good coaches do. I know what crappy coaches do that call themselves coaches, but they're not coaches. I don't know what they do. But then I know how these trainers, what they do, especially when you get someone that's new in the game. They're not, you have these commercial gyms. They turn these guys out like whatever, and they put them out there, and then you kind of, they're trying to make money, so they sign you up. Because they want to get paid. They get a commission. Okay, and this should not be a commission situation. For those that do it in a gym, okay, you do it. But if you can get you can get coaches like Linda and Christian to go help you. The benefit, the financial difference is probably not much. Okay, the benefits outweigh the couple of bucks more you'd be spending for these services. And I just want to say that because that is so important. So your clients are lucky. Trust me.
Thank you.
Give them this clip. Give them this clip. Tell them I said that because it's but it's true. It's true, and I've seen the stuff that you've done, Linda. I haven't seen the stuff that you've done, Christian, but now I'm gonna see it because I know, what you're saying. The words that are coming out of your mouth mean a lot because you're speaking the truth of as far as how things should be, and more coaches should learn from you as far as how you should treat your clients and what you should be doing with them, because it's like you're a fitness psychiatrist type of thing. Because that's sometimes it comes out to be that way. I'm sure you get calls in the middle of the night. Oh, Linda, I had an episode with my husband. I think I buried him in the backyard. I don't know, but you get. But
the great thing is that we have each other, so we constantly bounce ideas off each other and talk about things. I don't claim to know everything, so I research and I look up, and Christian knows a lot, and he's researching and reading. So it's great because we can share things with each other. I can say, I have this client, I just can't figure out what something's missing, and he'll say, did you try this? Did you try that? Or what's the carb intake? Or what So it's great because we can bounce ideas off each other, and then get a different perspective. Because sometimes.
But that's the relationship part of it,
Right.
because you guys have that, we talked about it earlier, is that you guys have a special relationship where not everyone has it. You meet the person, your worlds collide, and then all of a sudden everything gets better because that, he has your 6, you got her 6. So basically, you know what to expect, and that it's okay. It's okay to reach a little further. Reach a little further, because if you should slip, her hand's going to come up and hold you. Okay. And there's no better feeling than that. No better feeling than that.
It's great. It's great that we can each run our individual businesses, but we do a lot of collaborative things together, which is awesome. and that we can genuinely support each other. And it's if he gets a big win or something, he gets some great opportunity, it's like I'm excited for him. It's he's excited for me. So there's never been any envy or jealousy or why did he get that and why would not things like that. Like, it's genuine love, support, like wanting to see the other person thrive. Like, there's nothing else like that there, which is pretty cool.
If a picture can tell it, if they say a picture tells 1,000 words, right?
Mm-hmm.
I remember you posted a picture. Christian, you were competing. I think you may have won or something. And she was by you. And I looked at that picture. That was the first time that I said, you know what? She found happiness. That made me happy that, and I saw it, because it's not like, oh, I'm happy that, I mean, it was something a little more than that. And I saw it in your face too, and you couldn't wait to get spray tanned again. But maybe that was, I don't know.
I mean,
by you alone. So in closing with everything, we had a great talk here. If you had to give someone that was looking to better themselves, give them one piece of advice, what would you individually? What would you, Linda? What advice would you give them?
I would tell them to really, understand why they want to make the change in their life, and really ask themselves how committed they are to making that change, because it's not easy. It's not easy to change your lifestyle, change your eating, change your social life, change things, that you've been doing for years and years and years and years. So someone really has to passionately want to change their life. And a lot of the women that come to me that way, like, I'm at wit's end. Like, I'm ready to do this. I've got to do something for me. And I think you really need to have that yearning inside that you want to make that change. Because if not, people will sort of dibble and dabble in it and do like 70%, 60%, maybe 80%, and they don't get the results that they want. So, I always like to ask people, what's your level of commitment? Are you really willing to do this? Because it's not going to be easy. I will coach you to what you want to achieve, but we've got to be a team. We're going to be a team now, and we need to have good communication, and and be honest with me, I'll be honest with you. So
okay, that's great. Now, Christian, now the advice that you would give to an entrepreneur, someone that's looking to be a coach, because you have to be an entrepreneur to want to do this. So what advice would you give them, someone that's just getting involved in this world? Because it's a lot different than being a fitness trainer. So
okay,
I want to stump him. I want to stump him.
No, it's actually a good question for
yeah,
him.
so my advice to someone who wants to be a coach, nutrition coach, personal trainer, is that you have to make your mission bigger than yourself. Your client, and don't chase money. When you chase money, you'll end up unhappy. When you chase the purpose, you'll get what you want. What I learned personally is that if you help others get what they want, you'll get what you want. You've got to be willing to put in the time and look at it as a craft, because what you help people with is a projection of yourself. And you'll do great if you truly want to help people. It's easy to see. If a trainer like you had talked about before is on the phone, then they don't deserve to be in that gym. As much as the client might, oh, I love them, they're so, we talk about baseball and the kids, is this person does not respect your time. And that's unacceptable in my book.
Yeah.
So you've got to make the goal of, when you come into work every day, I'm here to help other people. I'll get what I need. That's not so important. I'm not worried so much about that right now. But if you come to me and you say you want help with something, one, I'm going to help you believe that you can do it. Two, you have to start where you are with what you have and never quit. And those are pillars that I'll teach even the coaches, because as a coach, start where you are with what you have. You don't have to be the greatest in the world in order to help people, but you've got to start where you are and be committed to getting better. The client, start where you are with what you have. You may not be a world-class whatever or an Olympian. It doesn't matter. Start with that 5-minute walk. Never quit, because the only way that you're going to get to the end result is if you stay committed.
Love it. Love the advice. And the one thing that we didn't talk about, and yeah, look, my show is different than other shows that anyone would be on, because it just goes whatever path is going to go. I didn't mention that. Hey, Linda, you're an IFBB pro, and Christian, I don't. Did you get your pro card yet?
So I'm a pro in the WNBF, but now pursuing my IFBB pro card.
See, and these are accomplishments that you won't see them go brag about it and stuff. They know who they are. But what you guys are doing and how you're helping people, I appreciate that, and I appreciate you, and I want to thank you for coming on the show. And we're gonna bring you on again. And we're gonna bring you on again, because I want to talk about the relationship part of stuff, because I think that's always a cool thing for people to see that, because if they understand it a little more, maybe that'll help them, so we can do that type of thing, because I can do that. It's my show, so we can do that. We can make that happen. We can make that happen. All right, you guys stay with me, and I want to thank the viewers and the listeners for tuning in to the UCW Radio Show, and we're going to be back with you with some more awesome guests. So make sure you listen to this show like 3-4 times this episode. You guys take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.